Men don't date women they respect. They date women who make their life easier. And that's exactly why we've been getting played. Hello, fellow warriors. Welcome or welcome back to the Goddess of War. Today, we're exposing some brutal truths about men your mother never warned you about. Because the problem isn't just them. It's the lies we were raised on and the silence we were taught to keep. So let's get into it. Number 1, stop worrying about your man's fidelity. When you're in a relationship, you should want the baddest woman in the world to make a pass at your man. And if she can take him, then by all means, she can have him. You should literally put a bow on his head and hand deliver him to her. Because if a man truly loves you, if he's really yours, you wouldn't have to worry. Not about her, not about anyone. The truth is that you shouldn't care what a woman does. You should care about his reaction. She doesn't owe you loyalty. He does. He's the one in a relationship with you. He made a promise. And real men can't be stolen. Never forget that. Number 2, stop rewarding a man for doing the bare minimum. You've probably heard this advice a million times, on TikTok, in reels, during girl talks. But what nobody says is what actually is the bare minimum. That's where things get blurry, because every girl seems to define it differently. But let's be real. The bare minimum is basic human decency. Let's say a man texts you back, listens when you talk, doesn't cheat, takes you on a date maybe twice a month, and suddenly you feel like you've won the lottery. But the truth is you're rewarding a man for doing the bare minimum, not because you're naive, but because you're exhausted, because you're used to being treated worse, because your bar isn't just on the floor, it's underground. What's really going on is this. Your brain has been conditioned to normalize emotional malnutrition. It's like starving someone for days, then handing them a cracker and calling it a feast. So when he shows you the smallest act of human decency, your nervous system floods with relief, and you mistake that for love. But love isn't just someone who doesn't cheat or texts you back. Love is consistency, it's support, it's admiration, it's growth. So keep that in mind the next time you catch yourself falling for crumbs. But there's something even worse. Something your mother was never taught to warn you about. Number 3. A man's idea of a good woman is often just a woman who tolerates his bullshit in silence. To a lot of men, a good woman isn't someone who's kind, loyal, or emotionally intelligent. A good woman is someone who stays, no matter what. She stays home, dresses modestly, keeps the house running, raises the kids, does all the emotional labor, and never complains. Meanwhile, he's out living his life, doing what he wants. Because to him, a good woman is the one who'll put up with his shit, the one who'll stay even when he's cold and unfaithful, the one who won't question him when he brings chaos into her life. But let me pose a question to men. How do you want a woman to be your peace when all you do is bring nightmares into her life? And that really reminds me of our mothers. Women who stayed quiet when they were disrespected, who tolerated cheating because that's just how men are. They didn't speak up, not because they didn't feel, but because they were never taught they had the right to demand more. And that's why our mothers never warned us, because no one ever showed them what respect really looked like. But there's an even darker truth about men your mother never had the words for. So number 4 is that men love it until it's on you. You see, men only complain about their girlfriend wearing revealing clothing, only to go watch women with none on. Guys love half-naked girls on social media until it's their girl. They will shame you for wearing a short dress, for showing cleavage, for posting a bikini pic. And in the same breath, they'll scroll past half-naked women for hours. They'll follow every OnlyFans model and like every thirst trap. But when it's their woman, suddenly, modesty is a moral requirement. They want you covered up in public, but they stare at every uncovered girl on the street. They sexualize other women freely, but expect you to suppress your own sexuality for the sake of being respectable. And the moment you dare to show some skin exactly as the women he's lusting over, you're no longer wifey material. That's not about standards. That's about control. But there's one thing even more dangerous than this, and your mother never stood a chance to warn you. So number 5 is that a man who lacks self-control will never be fully committed to you. A man who can't control his urges for other women doesn't have the capacity to love you deeply. Why? Because he's too busy giving pieces of himself to women who couldn't care less about him. Listen closely, warrior, and let that sink in. You will never be enough for a man who's ruled by lust, because he'll always want more. More women, more attention, more distractions. And when he eventually cheats, humiliates you, compares you with other women, or makes you feel replaceable, you'll realize that lust has no loyalty, and the signs are always there. He's always distracted by other women. He flirts and compliments them online or in person. He treats you like an object instead of a partner. If you ignore these red flags, you will suffer, not because you are not good enough, but because he was never capable of true commitment. A real man can overcome lust, but only if he chooses to. Because I hear men all the time say, "Oh, we're men. It's part of our nature." Well then, don't just act on your basic instincts, man. You're not an animal, right? A real masculine man knows how to master those urges. Because if you claim to be a provider and a protector, then act like one. That means creating a space where the woman you're with feels safe, valued, and secure. If she constantly has to worry about where your eyes go, who you're texting, or what you're hiding, you're not protecting her. You're destroying her peace. But what's even more toxic than this is something else. And I'm sure your mother never warned you about it. Number 6 is that men get everything, but don't earn any of it. They say boys will be boys. And that phrase alone has excused more immaturity, more entitlement, more damage than we'll ever be able to calculate. The more dopamine hits and chicks these guys get, the more limited their mindsets happen to be. Think about it. Why would a man grow when the world already rewards him for doing absolutely nothing? Not even the bare minimum. He doesn't have to evolve, he just has to consume. Because everything is handed to him on a silver platter. Validation, sex, attention, comfort. He gets the girlfriend experience without doing the smallest act of basic human decency. He gets loyalty without giving commitment. He gets emotional support without showing emotional maturity. He doesn't have to try. He doesn't have to show up. He doesn't even have to be a good man, because someone, somewhere, will still give him what he wants. And that's the problem. When a man is constantly rewarded for doing nothing, why would he ever grow? He doesn't have to. And we need to change that, ladies, because we are actually the ones controlling where the bar is. But what if the worst part about men is the one thing your mother never talked about? Number 7 is that men are setting you up to fail, no matter what you do. That's a hard pill to swallow, but we need to talk about it. By their own standards, men are setting us up to lose, no matter which path we take. Let's start with sex. Men constantly pursue us for casual intimacy, no commitment involved. But when we say yes, we're suddenly easy, used, or not wife material. They slut shame us. So basically, they punish us for giving them what they asked for in the first place. And then they have the audacity to ask for our body count, a body count they helped create. The same thing happens with money. If you're independent and take care of yourself, you're too bossy. But if you want help, if you desire to be provided for, then you're a gold digger. Again, either way, you lose. But there's one thing I didn't tell you in this video. The real reason we keep putting up with this kind of treatment goes way deeper than just bad men. It starts with what we were never taught as girls. Click on this video if you want to learn the things our mothers never warned us about. It's time to unleash your inner confident goddess. See you there, warrior.